I guess it really depends on who you ask when the story for Eddie Van Glam versus the Black Sheep started. And the reality is it did start at Horror Business 2017. But to me, it started and ended at Horror Business because for so long, Eddie had reigned supreme over 3-2-1 Battle. He was the heart and soul of 3-2-1 Battle. And when he challenged me for the Seattle Underground Wrestling Championship, I had taken everything that he had, everything that made Eddie Van Glam who he was, butt stuff, the air guitar, turn back time, all of the offense that he had, I'd countered, I'd killed, I'd ripped the heart and soul out of 3-2-1 Battle. So to me, the story was done, it was over. The only story that was left to tell was, how does the Black Sheep move forward as the Seattle Underground Wrestling Champion?
Give me what I want here! I want Dave Turner!
You had your chance, and you blew it. Eddie, you are dead to me. You're dead to the Battle Palace, and you're dead to 3-2-1 Battle. Go home.
I honestly can't tell you how long I was the Seattle Underground Wrestling Champion for. I mean, it was a while. What happened? I reigned supreme. I was the most, and still am, considered the most dominant professional wrestler at 3-2-1 Battle. And at the time that I was the Seattle Underground Wrestling Champion, I was going through everybody. I went through the entire roster nearly. And I was on a really big roll. And for some reason, Eddie had moved away during this time after Horror Business from being Eddie Van Glam, because I'd killed that part of him, to being Eddie Van Gloom, where he teamed with the Legion of Gloom, and he moped around and lurked in the corners of the Battle Palace, and he was a little, I guess, emo, for lack of a better term, and he was never able to let go of that loss. He was never able to let go of the fact that that character, Eddie Van Glam, was dead. A piece of him was gone, and I ripped that from him, and I guess he felt like he needed to rip something from me that I identified with, and that was the Seattle Underground Wrestling Championship. Well, naturally, I had to get revenge, right? I mean, that was, at the time, that's just who I was. You didn't wrong the Black Sheep, Dave Turner. I was the one in control. Eddie Van Glam wasn't in control. 3-2-1 Battle wasn't in control. Mommy or Steve Miggs, they weren't in control. I was in control. Yeah, I don't think he had a choice. I mean, at the time, there wasn't anybody who was really willing to step up to me and defend themselves against me. I was going through everyone on that roster. There was no one who could overpower me, no one who could take any of my dominance from me. I was and am the Black Sheep, Dave Turner. And so when I attacked Eddie, again, I thought that was where the story died. You took something from me, I took something from you. Now we're even. Things really came to a head actually that night that he decided he had to take it one step further. Jeffrey at the time was just a generic mass referee who up to that point had never gotten involved in anything. He was just a ref when a ref was needed. And when he slid in to continue counting the pinfall after Girl Hebner was knocked out, I didn't think anything of it. I've seen Jeffrey plenty of times in the locker room. I've never seen him with his mask off. Clearly, that's against the rules. But when that happened, I just thought, okay, Jeffrey's coming in. He's going to count the pinfall. We're good to go. And when he didn't, and we got in the shoving match, and I pulled the mask off to reveal that Jeffrey had indeed been Eddie under that mask, that's when things really came to a head. So Steve Miggs had agreed to let Eddie and I wrestle. That was going to be the match. To me, in my brain, at that time in my life with 3-2-1 Battle, that was going to, if I didn't put the nail in the coffin of Eddie Van Glam then, at Horror Business, I was going to put the nail in the coffin of Eddie Van Glam that night. And Eddie had other plans. And he couldn't even let me get in the ring before. I mean, this feud had boiled over to the point where we couldn't even be contained in the ring. Brawling, we're fighting. Mommy eventually gets involved. And Mommy, if you follow 3-2-1, you know that Mommy is the end-all be-all with authority at the Battle Palace. And so when Mommy got involved, I never really listened to what she had to say to begin with. I've always marched to the beat of my own drum. But that night, man, she controlled the narrative of the story of Eddie Van Glam versus the Black Sheep, Dave Turner. And the cameras didn't catch it, but there was a moment, and I wish I could have had it, where she comes up to me and she puts her finger on my lips and tells me to shush, boy. And I thought to myself, damn it, woman, I'm gonna bite your finger right off. But up to that point, I was stunned. Like, nobody had ever come up to me and said, shut.
You stop! You stop! with me, Eddie. Focus with me, Turner. Once and for all. At Battlemania.
So, as she declared, we could not contain this in the ring. We needed a bigger space to continue this blood feud, because at this point, that's what had started to become a blood feud between Eddie and I. And Battlemania 2018 was set to be, at that point, the biggest show 3-2-1 Battle has ever run. We had acquired the Showbox Marketplace, and for the first time ever, 3-2-1 Battle was going to be moved from the Battle Palace to one of the biggest venues that we could have ever asked for. And we were going to sell out that building. And the name on the marquee was 3-2-1 Battle, but everybody was going to come for Eddie Van Glam versus the Black Sheep, Dave Turner.
So tonight, we're going to sign the contract and make it official. Now, by signing this contract, Eddie, I was going to say, by signing this contract, you agree that neither one of you will touch each other until April 20th at Battlemania. It's in the contract.
Did I get suspended? Yes, I did. I was suspended from that point forward until Battlemania. But I came back. And if I couldn't get to Eddie, I was going to get to the one thing that Eddie loves more than anything in the world. His wife, Mitzi. The match was set. We were ready to go into Battlemania, and we were going to have a street fight right there at the Showbox Marketplace, the biggest show that 3-2-1 Battle had ever held. And we had taken things from each other. We had fought, we had brawled all over the Battle Palace. I had speared his wife, and this feud, this story, was more than one man versus another man. This was two men who hated each other, and we were going to end it once and for all at Battlemania 2018.
I should give it another shout out to Hooded Cobra. 3-2 champion. That was not quite the result we wanted, but you gotta give it up. That was one hell of a title match. And now going the complete opposite way of the sanctioned title match. Tonight is an accumulation of months and months of fucking blood, anger, punches, kicks. Dave Turner speared his wife, but now tonight, it finally ends. The saga that is Van Glam versus Turner will finally come to rest here at Battlemania 2018.
This was supposed to be the first official Battlemania match, but the Black Sheep Dave Turner took it a step too far.
He took it 12 steps too far, and we need to stop talking because it's time to get this revenge, Murray.
This next match is in singles competition, is set for one fall, and is an unsanctioned match. The only ways to win are by pinfall or submission. First, him accompanied to the ring by his manager, the member of every secret society in existence, the Colossus Adonis. Hailing from Everett, Washington, the Black Sheep, Dave Turner.
Museum for months. But Murray, I think tonight
It might be in the motherfucking showbox. No. Hurry. It can't be. That's not the bullshit sit-down acoustic version. That's not Eddie Van Glam. Eddie Van Glam is back!
Dave Turner hit the Van Glam family so hard, it turned that frown upside down. Entertaining this unsanctioned match, Chris Samuels.
Dave Turner and Eddie Van Glam. But Turner was not expecting this. Look at the look on Turner's face.
Turner was expecting a mopey sad sack in the far corner, but instead, the king of dog style comes holding the bare butt stuff. Combatants, are you ready? 3, 2, 1, battalion, are you ready? Let's make this shit official. 3, 2, 1. Let's make this unofficial. This unsanctioned fight is opening here in the showbox, baby. Eddie Van Glam, half-tight showing what he's bringing to the table. But Dave Turner quick to shut down that momentum with a huge lariat. God damn it, Dave Turner. And just boxing the ear of Eddie Van Glam. And just fills the sides of Christmas hands
This is not
all over the bear and a bunch of...
This is not how Eddie Van Glam wanted to start this Battlemania match. Look and get his redemption. But Dave Turner out the gate getting the advantage. Eddie Van Glam, Dave Turner, this has been boiling since horror business. Last October. God, come on, Dave, come on.
Just staring in the face of Mitzi Six as he clubbers her husband.
Remember, this is an unsanctioned match. The referee is only here to call the submission or count the pinfall.
Just on the solid steel wood floor.
Murray, the mind games of Dave Turner, I hate to say this, but they've worked. Eddie Van Glam is distracted. He's not showing you that solid steel table.
Cody, I can hurt you anytime, anywhere is not a mind game. It's just,
No. Eddie Van Glam has got to be. Dave Turner has to take a step. You gotta think Quantus Adonis had something to do with that kendo stick. What? Yeah, you Edward jerk. Right to the head of Van Glam. That's not the kind of hit he was looking for.
Eddie Van Glam torn asunder by the solid steel hollow bamboo.
Right to the midsection of Eddie, and this is... Come on, Dave. Enough is enough!
Right in the chin.
But that time Eddie got out of the way!
And now that kendo stick is solid splinters.
That solid master splinter to you. Once again, Dave Turner quick to shut down the momentum of Eddie Van Glam. Let's go, Eddie!
Objects in motion, kendo stick in motion. Objects in rest, kendo
And it's every moment, every opportunity. Like I was saying, every moment, every opportunity Eddie Van Glam gets. Unfortunately, the Black Sheep Dave Turner is 2 steps ahead, shutting him down at every pass. And goddammit, he's looking into the ring once again.
And he found the folding chair. And Brian, what is that made out of?
Legendary. And now Dave Turner.
Every moment I fail, you son of a bitch.
Dave Turner winding up.
And driving down that chair right on his shoulder with Eddie Van Glam.
I don't know if you caught that, but Dave Turner sent that chair edge first into the spine of Eddie Van Glam.
Take your time,
If
Dave.
you needed
Take
more
your
proof
time.
than that as to these two motherfuckers hate each other, you're not gonna get it. And now Dave Turner has set up a solid steel death trap. This is not good. This is not what any of us wanted. Come on, Eddie! Come on, Eddie!
And trying to fight, coming down, right back on.
Right back up!
And the Black Sheep Dave Turner taking right over the solid steel chairs.
But not before Eddie Van Glam hit him right in the... You can just yell Dion in the show box.
They've been doing that all night.
Doesn't make it less weird, baby. No, but Eddie Van Glam not up to his feet before the Black Sheep. Dave Turner just assaulting the knee of Eddie Van Glam.
Driving that chair right into the knee of Eddie Van Glam. Oh, no.
Dave, come on. Dave, enough's enough.
This is an unsanctioned match. The referee cannot call it off until the pinfall, until the submission. And not even if Dave Turner comes in.
Dave Turner has now just trying to pull Eddie Van Glam up by that hair.
Here at the Cathedral of Steel.
Does Eddie have that bag? Wait a minute. Murray! Murray!
A solid steel cans! Straight from the rebar, and they're uncrushed empty, baby!
Taking the throw back to the tables of the rebar! Eddie Van Glam has introduced solid steel beer cans! Turner fighting his way out of it. Eddie is not giving up. Just
Sheets, Dave Turner, Doug Clark, Beer Can 101! SSP! SSP! So if you don't get this reference, order Punchline Revenge of the Banana from iTunes or Amazon. Hi Ryan and JP. Eddie, stalking the black sheep, looking at months and months of repeated right here with the chair straight to the midsection.
oh no, Eddie Van Glam. I mean, oh yes, rather, has placed that chair against the midsection of the black sheep. Eddie's winding up. Murray! It's not stop! Don't stop! Don't stop! Don't stop!
That's how you get pink eye, brother.
And if Seattle has anything to say with it, that won't be the last time butt stuff is sent to the showbox.
You're gonna go down to the Bishop Briggs concert.
Oh no, Eddie gets Irish whipped into the table. One step ahead of the spear are both combatants. Eddie Van Glam, Dave Turner looking to get the upper hand. Somehow, some way, have not been able to do that tonight.
Buster right through the solid steel wood table.
The only retribution we can hope for is that Eddie went butt first.
That's how the table gets pink eye.
Let's go, Eddie!
The ring looks like a landfill. There is crushed metal. There is wooden splinters. There is broken bodies everywhere. But surrounded in the winter on the side, cheering on Eddie Van Glam.
Let's go, Eddie! Wait, no, wait. Dave Turner pulling himself up on the ropes as well as Eddie Van Glam. Both can safe to say that Mo